beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I am back with another video for you guys. And we're going to be talking about living in the end. I'm going to let you know this is going to be one of those videos that is going to cause you to manifest things. Okay, this is one of those videos that has the potential to really click in deeper the understanding of manifestation, and help you get things a lot quicker. Okay, and this is the fundamental teaching of the law of assumption. And yeah, we're gonna go into detail about it. We'll answer some questions, and I have some really exciting news for you guys. I'm gonna wait for more people to hop on to let you guys know what's going on. But anyways, hello fashion. Hi Ty. Hi Toya. Hi Mocha. Hi Wambea. Hi Tava. Hi Ashley. Hi Pandora. Love and blessings to you. Welcome in, everybody. So while you guys are popping in, I'll just do a few announcements and then we're gonna get started. The Godstate Remembrance, you guys can still join for your 7 days free. And this is a monthly membership. We do daily Bible studies every single morning, and I interpret it metaphysically. And this morning, we did the crucifixion of Jesus. It was so incredibly deep. I honestly had resistance. I didn't want to read it because it's gruesome, you know, but like metaphysically, it's incredible. And it's always correlating with what I'm going through. We've had some successes within the membership already. Someone has already manifested $5,000. Someone manifested a brand new car, just in her 3rd day being there. People are manifesting all kinds of things. So you guys definitely pop in if you would like. And my birthday sale is still going on. So you guys are able to get $111 off of a one-on-one session with me. And that is also in the description. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Derek. Hi, Kay. Hi, Tava. Okay, let's get started, guys. Let's start talking about living in the end. I guess I'm going to tell you guys what's going on before because I don't think I can hold it in. But I actually got engaged this weekend. I got engaged on Friday. And that's why I have been gone. My SP's mother and sister came in town. My mom came in town. And we've been hanging out this weekend. But yes, I'm engaged. You guys can see the ring. My nails are messed up, you guys. And when I tell you guys, you cannot, this light does not do it justice. Like, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. It was amazing and incredible. And the ring is custom made for me. And like looking at it, like you guys can't tell over like camera and this, but it's a very nice diamond. Yes. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are so sweet. I'm so happy. I'm going to be making some, I'm going to make a video more talking about like me manifesting it because it's been such a full circle moment, you guys. I'm going to tell you guys this really quick. Hopefully that can be really inspiring to you guys. And my SAT scene came true. When we broke up, and the first SAT scene that I created was me sitting on his lap and us looking at the ring and admiring it and him being happy that, we're engaged. And I remember at that time when I did that SAT scene, that just seemed so impossible to me. For him to propose, for him to be happy that we were engaged, I remember I could barely see it in my mind. And yesterday, like we were sitting on the stairs and we were admiring the ring, and he says, "It looks so good on you." And that was what was in my sat scene. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you. So yeah, you guys, it's crazy. I've been processing on a lot of different levels. There's a lot to process there. But I'm really, really happy and really, really, really grateful. And just to know, you guys, whatever, don't give up. That exactly, Soul Crafted. Don't give up on whether it's not even an SP, but don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on what you want. It does not matter it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter how impossible it seems, right? The world, this is a multidimensional world. What's impossible in one reality is happening in another, okay? So, yeah. I wish you guys could see how it looks though. Like the rainbows. I was like, I don't know if I've seen diamonds up close before because this is crazy. But, all right, let's get into the topic, you guys. So, living in the end. This is your first thing for you to do when you have a desire, is to immediately go to your end and accept it as real. Now, when you're living in the end, when you're walking in the end, right? What happens is we're like, oh, this is my end, and I'm trying to make it be true, and I hope one day it could be true, and all of these things, but it is about accepting it as true and not waiting for proof, not waiting for permission from reality. This is where a lot of you guys get fucked up. And why things take so long, and why it's just, you're like, it's taking forever, right? Is because you're not living in the end, you're living in the middle. Sometimes you're living in the beginning, right? But most of us that are manifestors, especially us that understand the law, are living in the middle. We're living in the journey. We're living in the how. We're living in the where is it, and how can I make this happen, and what, all of these type of things. But what you're supposed to do is go right to your end and accept it, right? Go right to your end and accept it as true. It's not about, well, nothing in my world tells me that I can do this. Nothing in my world is pointing to me to do this, right? And this is what I was saying, even with my engagement. At that time, like I said, we were broken up. There was everything was telling me opposite of that. Right? But what my end was, what I wanted ultimately was for us to be married and for us to be happy. And what's interesting, you guys, is that, once we got back together, and I knew we were going to be married because I didn't know when he was going to propose or anything like that. But I knew that it was going to happen. And so I didn't feel the need to create it anymore, right? Even though it's been months since we talked about getting married and that, all of that, but I didn't feel the need to create this anymore. I didn't feel the need to say, oh, when is it going to happen, or how is it going to happen, or is it going to happen? I already accepted it as true in my mind, right? And it's so interesting because the world is very convincing, right? The world is very convincing. The world is convincing you that, yeah, there's things you need to do before you can go to your end. There's things that need to happen before you go to your end. There's things in the world that, in your reality, that, you have to change before you go to your end. But accepting your end, you guys, is what moves you across the bridge of events into that reality, okay? The acceptance of the end wills the means, right? So you accepting the end is literally what puts you on that track. It's like, the way that I like to think of it is every moment there's two decisions, right? Or two pathways that you can go. And you can say, okay, this is not possible and I don't see how. And so you're going to go down the track of it's not possible and I don't see how. And life is going to confirm that to you. Okay. Life is going to confirm whatever you decide. All right. Now you can go down the track of, I don't see that it's possible. I don't necessarily see a way, but I'm going to decide I'm going to go past what I think is possible. Right. I'm going to deny the senses, which is something that, let's talk about that really quick, because this is imperative. This is imperative when it comes to living in the end. Okay. And making a new assumption, right? You are denying the senses, which means that you're not looking around. And this is where we all get messed up, even me sometimes, you guys, okay? We're looking around for evidence of what we want and using that to determine whether we're going to assume it or not, right? But you're denying the senses. You're going within, right? Because the 3D is not God, right? The 3D is not, I don't feel like anything is not God, but the 3D is not the creative power. So when you're looking at the 3D is just an effect of the creative power here. But you have to be able to go here to create something new, different from what you're seeing, okay? You have to be able to go here, and then you live in that. So what happens is we might make the assumption, and then we're going around like, okay, I made the assumption, but how do I make it true, right? I made the assumption, but how do I make this happen, right? I was listening to Neville talk about getting out of the army. I'm going to make a TikTok, a short about it in a second. And he was talking about how when he went to his mind and set himself free from the army, and he said the message came to him to do nothing, right? Even when his colonel denied him, he didn't say, oh my God, I did it wrong. Oh my God, it's not working. Oh my God, whatever, right? He said, it doesn't matter what you're saying. I don't need to say anything to you because what I said is already done. What I decided is already done. And I don't need to do anything to make that be so. I don't need to go and talk to you and try and convince you that you made a mistake in the decision that you made, because I already made up my mind, right? So this is giving your mind supremacy, you guys. This is something that I used to focus on heavily, and we're really still focusing on it because it's fundamental in manifestation, which is that your mind has supremacy over the 3D world. And this is all of these things that I'm telling you guys are things that we pretty much all know, right? We know all these things. But in the moment, we decide that 3D has the supremacy over us. We decide that, well, but look at what's going on. So, or look at what it looks like, or look at what it is. So there's no way that I could get what I want. All right. But when you really believe that what I say, my mind is creating consciousness. My mind is creating this world. You won't look to the world for anything. You will give everything to yourself within with no permission. If you want to manifest quicker, how quickly can you make it to your end and stay there? Okay? Thank you, Natoya. Hi, Heaven. But how quickly can you make it? How quickly can you deny the senses and go right to the end? And stay there though, right? And stay there and persist in it. All right? That is how quickly your manifestation can happen. So when you're living in the end, you're accepting it as true and you're moving as though it is, as though it's so already. That is what living in the end is. So move out of trying. This is when we talk about Trying'sville. Move out of how do I get this thing to be true, right? And move into it is because I say so, because I have the supremacy, all right? So if you guys have questions, you can ask some questions. Oh, thank you. My sister-in-law now got me those, and she got me some like a designer shoes and designer purse. It was so nice. Okay, thank you, Heaven. You guys are so sweet. Okay, I'm going to answer you guys' question. All right. Thank you so much, Redhead. How about when applying this to a toxic, abusive home? Okay. So what you're going to do is mentally move from the toxic home. When you're in a toxic, abusive home, which first of all, if that's the situation that you're in, I'm so sorry to hear that, right? But you're mentally deciding that you are now safe. I think that's a big feeling of what we're looking for beyond the desire, right? And this is actually a good, like a good way to talk about this, because let's say you're in an abusive home. And so every day you're looking around and you're seeing evidence of that. And so if you're looking around to see evidence of safety, you're not going to find it in the reality that you're in. But what you really want beyond, because you don't want to move from an abusive home, like here's what I'm trying to say. What we might think is like, I just need to get out of this situation, right? I need to get out of this situation and into another situation. But when we do that without addressing the feeling behind what we want, you can find yourself in another similar situation, right? So if you're in a toxic, abusive home, let's say you're living with your parents, and then, your way comes and you move out and you're with your boyfriend, but then that turns into another mirror, right? Because these things are mirroring your self-concept and mirroring your assumptions. So what you really want beyond just being in another place and being away from that is safety. And so that's the assumption that you want to make, right? I'm safe and I'm self-sufficient. I'm in a peaceful place. I'm in a peaceful home, right? These are more the assumptions rather than thinking, I just want to move out. Right? I just want to move out. This is what I mean, you guys, with surface level things. A good way for me to explain this again is with what happened with the engagement for me was what I really wanted at that moment when we were broken up and I decided I wanted us to be married. What I really wanted was a deep commitment. I wanted our connection to be solidified. I wanted to feel safe and secure within the relationship and knowing that we're going to be together and that's going to happen at some point, right? And so once we got back together, even though the proposal didn't come immediately, the feeling of the deep commitment and the connection came. And so that feeling is what I wanted beyond everything. It wouldn't matter if we got back together and the next day he proposed and then I was still shaky in my self-concept and still shaky in the relationship, right? I really want you guys to understand this. This is a lot what I've been learning about in the Bible, in the biblical interpretations, is that what your desires are not surface level, you guys. They're not surface level. It has to do with how you want to feel about yourself on the inside, okay? How you want to feel about your reality, how you want to feel about whatever it is that you want, okay? So going to your end is going, what is it that I want to feel, right? If you're in a toxic and abusive place, you're feeling unsafe. You're feeling probably nervous all the time and anxious. You're feeling fear. And so what you really want is not just to move out, because that's not specific enough. You want to feel safe and cared for and loved, right? So I would say go there mentally, right? And now you can see this and you can create that mood within a visualization of you being in a separate place, right? In another place. So see yourself, maybe if you want to live alone, right? Or you want to live with somebody or whatever, but feel yourself in that moment, feeling safe, feeling peace, feeling good, feeling loved. So mentally move to your end. How do you move? How do you live in your end? How do you even accept your end? What do you want? Because what we do, you guys, is we're like, ooh, this is what I want, but, right? But this, but that, but past, present. It's funny in the biblical the biblical interpretation, they were talking about Jesus on the cross, and he had two thieves on either side of him. And they said that the thieves represented the past and the future. And these are what steal our manifestation from us, right? The past, the thoughts of the past, the failure consciousness, thinking like, oh, but it didn't work before. Oh, it's been so long. Oh, whatever. Or the fear of the future. Oh, but what if it doesn't happen? And what if it can? And I don't know. And what if something else happens? And it all takes us from the middle, which is the presence, which is now, which is Jesus, which is your I am, right? And that's where all your power is. So it's not about figuring out how this can work out or what's going to happen, or even looking to all the things and ways that, you've missed the mark, right? It doesn't matter. What do you want, right? That's it, period. What do you want? And then what if that was true? That's it. What do you want? What if it was true? What if it was true? What if it was already done? That's how you go to your end in whatever situation that you are. Okay? All right. Is it another end after the end? Yes, there is, actually, because you always keep expanding, you guys. You're never going to get to a point where you're like, all right, I manifested everything I want in my life and that's it, and now I'm just gonna chill. Like, no. You might have periods of rest where you are very satisfied and content, but you are an expansive being. You are expressing God on all different levels. And so you're going to continue, once you get to new levels and new levels of consciousness, you're going to try more and more things. Sometimes it's just manifesting with less effort, right? Sometimes it's just manifesting quicker, manifesting instantly, manifesting out of thin air. You're going to continue to express your mastery because that's just what you feel like doing. But when you have something specific that you want, go to your end and assume that it's true already. Is it possible to manifest custody for my sister from her narc baby daddy? Yes, it is. And that's a wonderful thing, right? That's a wonderful thing to do. So see your sister, or maybe you could even have an inner conversation with her, right? Or you can see what would imply that your niece or your nephew is living with their mom. Right? Maybe you popping up on a day that usually the kid wouldn't be there. Maybe, I think the best thing is to have an inner conversation though. I feel like that's the easiest way to include the detail that you want. But here's the thing, y'all. Here's what to do with anything, right? So you want to manifest custody, right? She already has custody. Go right past, but how and when and where, right? She already has custody of your, niece or nephew. You get to decide that. You decide that and you persist in that. Even when you hear her and she's telling you like, girl, I'm stressed because of this and that, in your mind, this is what I'm doing, right? When you guys come on and you tell me, oh my God, Olivia, this is going on. I don't sit there and say, oh my God, wow, how did that happen? What are you gonna do? Ooh, that sounds really sucky for you. I don't see what can happen for you. I go right to the end of actually, no, it's not. It's like this now. It's like this now, because this is the thing, you guys, knowing yourself, we can be knowing ourselves, right? This is when Neville says being a hearer, but not a doer, right? We all know, y'all here, we know that we're God, right? But, and this is the thing that I was saying in the last live, is that we give lip service to that. We're like, yeah, I'm God, I'm God, I'm God. But this thing is so hard and difficult and I can't do this. Then you're not really believing what you're saying. Oh, I'm God, I'm God, I'm God. But I'm going to sit here and use my consciousness that I know creates to tell an old story. Then you're not really knowing that you're God then, which is okay, you guys, because we're moving in and out of states, right? But when you really accept what you are, you will be mindful to only tell stories that serve you and serve others. And you won't wait for permission, right? A lot of times we're undisciplined. Okay, this is something that I'm working with now. Your mind is used to running all over the place. It's not used to being focused. Your mind is used to responding. So it's used to looking into the 3D and deciding based off of what's in front of it, right? So what you're learning now, this is what Neville calls it a controlled imagination, right? A controlled imagination. You're controlling your thoughts. You're controlling what you're imagining. You're being aware when you're on a track of a story that you don't want to live. And look, this is what I'm gonna tell y'all, guys. If it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter what's going on. If it's a story that you don't want to live, there's no point in you telling it. You telling it is breathing life into it. You are the breath of life, right? You have that authority to breathe life into circumstances, okay? So the discipline is one thing, but then the other thing is not truly believing that you're God, that you can, right? I see where you're saying living as is where I mess up. And here's why. Because you don't really believe what we're talking about. And it's not all the time, you guys. Like I said, we all come in and out of states of really believing that we're God, right? And a lot of times it's those times when our back is up against the wall because we have no other choice but to surrender to, I gotta be God. I can't, whatever the other option is, it can't be. So I'm really going to believe and decide that I'm God and give my attention. But when it comes to our desires, especially when you are right, you are right. Otherwise, it's more like, I'm living an all right life. If I don't get what I want, I'm going to continue to live an all right life. So it's fine. I mean, it's fine. But it's a frustrating place because you know that you can have more, right? But you're not really believing that you're God. Because when you're believing that you're God, you will be aware of anything that you're saying. And if it's not in line with what you want to see, with what you want to manifest, you won't give it any attention. Okay? The part of us that doesn't really believe we're creating is the part of us that says, but look at this though, right? This is what I be telling y'all when I tell you guys it's like a sculpture, right? If I'm a sculptor an artist, and I sculpt an apple and I'm like, oh no, I meant to sculpt a cereal box. I'm not going to sit there and continue sculpting the apple and be like, damn, shit, I wish this could be a cereal box, bro, but look at it, it's an apple. I'm not going to do that because I know that I have the power to smash it down and reform it, right? I know that I have the power. I'm not going to sit there and look at the apple like, bro, one day you're going to be a cereal box, one day. Not today, though. Probably not tomorrow. Probably a few months. Probably 21 days. Affirm, and that's going to make it be what it is, right? But it's no, you're knowing that I'm the sculptor. I'm the one that's building it. So if it's not looking like what I want, then my job is to smash it down and recreate it. But if I think though, if I'm like, oh, I'm not really a sculptor. This clay has a mind of its own. I could try and form it into a cereal box, but I don't know if it's really going to do that. I might as well just accept it being an apple, right? Well, then you're not going to do that. Okay? All right. Olivia, what to do when you're in a rut and nothing is working, regardless of effort? Stop efforting. Stop efforting. Accept that it's done. Accept that it's done, y'all. And sometimes, y'all, listen, let me tell you guys something about this ring as well. Because I found out that my SP had bought the ring because we got in an argument. Because he was telling me that he was like, yeah, maybe I'll propose like on our anniversary, which is later in the year. And I was mad and I was like, that's too long. I don't want that. I don't want you to do that. And you're not even really gonna do it and this, and we got into it, right? And he was just like, okay, like you're ruining it because I already have your ring. I'm already paying on your ring. Like, so you don't even know what you're talking about. And me, judging by appearances, judging by what I'm not seeing, I'm deducting from that it's not done, right? But it had been done. It had been done. He told my mom about this in February. Okay, it had been done already. But I couldn't see that, right? So it doesn't, a lot of times, you guys, when you're looking around and you're like, oh, it's not working. It already worked though. That's the thing. When something is not working, you guys, look, number one, there's never a reason for you to even say that. Because there are ways that you know not of. What you're looking at and thinking is not working is already worked out for you. The very thing that you're looking at and saying, oh yeah, this means that it's not working, could be the very thing that is leading you to what it is, okay? It already worked. Even if let's play devil's advocate. Let's say it's not working. Let's say you're doing everything terribly wrong, right? You can assume that it's working. You should be assuming that it's working. Okay? Your assumption that it's working means it's working because listen, y'all, you don't need permission from a thing, from a person, from a circumstance, from anything. All right? You don't need permission. You don't need a sign. You don't need nothing outside of you to say, yeah, it's a go. You say it's a go. All right? All right. Not a question, but I want your thoughts about it because I am awareness. I already have it. Then why not live every moment appropriate and be happy that I have it? That's how I look at affirmations. Yes. I love that 100%. Honestly, when I was in one of the best states that I have been in is the state of everything's already done. The state, like the feeling of there's nothing to create because it's already created for me. Everything. Not just some things. Not, yeah, I'm going to accept this one thing that is done, but the rest of this stuff is going to take me some time, right? Come into the state. What if all your desires were finished? This is what we were teaching in Ethereal Dream. And every week, my girls were having success after success after success after success, okay? And they weren't trying. They weren't doing anything to make it happen. It was just following who they were knowing themselves as. When you know that I'm in my dream reality, I'm in my highest timeline, I'm in the reality where everything is already fulfilled and done, it shows itself to be like that. This is where the contradiction kind of comes in, you guys, is because the trying, the efforting, the forcing, all of that is an acknowledgement that it's not done, y'all. To try, to force, to effort is to admit that it's not done. Okay? And your consciousness then is lighting up the not doneness. If anything, what you want to do is be like a gardener in your mind. And you want to pull out all the parts that are saying it's not done. You want to pull out the parts that are saying it's not done. You can't have that. And when you pull those parts out and continue persisting in your assumption, that's when it happens. Okay? I love you too, Muhammad. Do you agree that the highest timeline assumption is best for just overall beautiful, magical life, money, relationships, looks, opportunities? I do agree with that. Absolutely. You're right, because I'm now only realizing this is why I have don't let anyone take care of me, do it myself and others, and I should give to others as much as possible. Yes. Let's see. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Do you believe in spirit guides? If yes, is it possible that they voluntarily block your manifestation? This is a really good question. I do believe in spirit guides. I do believe that there are beings beyond the beings that we see here that are with us. And can they block your manifestation? No, because you have free will, right? So you are the operant power of your reality. Now, I do believe that spirit guides, they're guiding you, right? So sometimes they're going to try to warn you, right? Because remember that your spirit guides, like the way that I like to look at it is that your spirit guides can see further than you. So you might think, like, I don't know, you meet Tommy and you're like, Tommy's a great guy. But your spirit guides are like, I don't know. Tommy is low-key a serial killer. So I don't think that's the best version for you or that's the best person for you. Right? So they might, they might try and show you like, hey, let's not go that way. Right? But they can't force you to not go that way. What I notice with spirit guides is that it's just like your intuition, right? It's like you're going to kind of feel and experience the misalignment, right? In whatever way that is. Things just not really working out for you. Things, whatever. But you experience that, hey, you might want to go over this way. You can go over that way. They're not going to stop you from going that way. They're going to try and give you like the feeling, that sick feeling in your stomach when you're going against what your intuition says, or when you're feeling disconnected and confused, you're not feeling like yourself because you won't listen to your intuition. you know, and they just kind of looking at you like, I mean, all right, like that's on you. That's on you. But they are trying to help you. And I think that a lot of it is just trusting, you guys. Whether it don't matter if you believe in spirit guides or you don't, you're being guided. Like you have a higher mind. You have a mind that is directly connected with, you know, the ethereals, the ethers, with that God self. You have a mind and a part of you that is beyond the avatar, the physical, you know, vehicle that you're in. Okay. How to drop guilt, or that I'm taking advantage of others by using manifesting to get what I want. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys, you know, my opinion on this. If you wish it for yourself, then wish it for the other. If not, then you shouldn't be doing it. And that's just my opinion. I think a lot of people in the law of assumption community, you know, and I'm not saying this about you, Amy, because I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but there are a lot of people who do, honestly, terrible things to other people with the law of assumption, and they make it seem right, you know, like, oh, it's fine because it's this reality and whatever the fuck you want to say. But I mean, if you're wishing harm on people, if you're wishing, you know, bad things for people, if you're wishing for others things that you wouldn't wish for yourself, then the guilt is just the part of you that knows that you can do better. I mean, and this is the thing, you guys, it's not about judgment or anything like that. And honestly, this is just what it's like when humans have God power, right? When humans have God power and you're coming and you're using your God power to harm others because you're still living from ego. You're using your God power from ego. And you think that the key to you feeling better is in the harm of somebody else, which can't be true. But if you're just using, you know, if you're using your power to, I don't know, just change someone's mind or make somebody's life better or whatever, that's not wrong. What I'll say is, like, if maybe, let's say it's your boss, right, Amy? Let's say you're like, I want my boss to give me a promotion, and I'm thinking of him giving me a promotion, right? And is it wrong for me to manipulate his mind to give me a promotion? Well, here's the thing about it, guys, is that this is the thing about everyone as you pushed out, is you're manipulating their mind anyway. And it's not a manipulation, it's just what it is. They are an expression of who you're being, right? Now, the difference is if you say, oh, my boss is such an a-hole, I hope that, you know, he gets flat tires on his way to work. Well, that's not a very positive thing for you to do, right? And no matter how you spin that. But if you want to be promoted, this is the thing. Instead of focusing on people, y'all, instead of focusing on people, focus on yourself. What do you want? How do you want it to affect you, right? I am promoted. It's not about him, right? When Neville was getting himself out of the army, he wasn't focused on the colonel. He wasn't focused on him doing anything. He was focused on himself living in the end, which is him being at home with his wife and daughter, right? And him focusing on himself and his end led him across a bridge of events that led the decision of the colonel to change his mind, right? So this is the thing. A lot of people, once again, they have their hands all in 3D. Oh, let me get so-and-so to do this and move these things around in here. But reality is stemming from you. It's expressing from yourself. There's no one to change but self. And you changing self, you guys, is going to change people automatically, okay? All right. If I go to my end, should I put a time to manifest it? Is it better not to put a time? In my opinion, it's better not to put a time because it puts pressure on you, okay? And it depends. If you're a very advanced and trusted manifester, then sure. You know, do it. If you need something by a certain time, then sure. But if you just want something, just let it happen. That's my opinion. I honestly, you guys, I'm a person who, I like the path of least resistance. I don't want to go about it the hard way. I don't want to go about it the you know, nervous system deregulating way. But I'm also a patient person. I'm not somebody who is like, oh my God, if I don't get it right now, I'm going to fucking blow my top. Like, that's just not me. But what I will say is that time is not even really a factor because you should be accepting it as now. That's the thing. You shouldn't be saying, well, one day and 3 days or 5 days or 7 days, it'll be here. 3 days, 5 days, 7 days don't never come, right? That don't ever come. Every time you catch me live, it's in a now moment. It's no tomorrow. It's no next week. So when you're assuming it, you should be assuming it's now and living in the fact that it's now, because it is, y'all. This is the thing. This reality is it's a multidimensional reality. All right? It's like I said. In the reality, yeah, it might not be true, but in the reality it is. And your attention and your awareness and your decision and your selection is what is lighting up either or for you. Okay? I say I'm God, then I should figure out the details as well. Okay, that's a very good that's a very good distinction, Amy. Because no, I can see why you would think that, but this is where you want to understand that you have you're one, but you're two. Okay? You're one because God and you are one, but you're also two because you have the avatar. I have Olivia, right? Olivia has a story. Olivia has grown up, in earth and picked up certain beliefs and assumptions and things and self-concept and all these things. The higher mind, the being that is being me, doesn't have a story. Okay? It doesn't have all of these things. And the being that is being you is the one that already did it. Okay? So it's not up to you to do it. All you do is accept it and do nothing. This is why Neville says you don't lift a finger to make it so. You're not lifting a finger to make it so because it's already so. It's already so. Right? So you absolutely should not be focusing on the details. You should be accepting it as true. And knowing your acceptance is true is what lights up the reality where it already happened, okay? Because it's all already happened. It all already happened, okay? So there's nothing for you to make happen, you guys. This is what creation is finished means. It's all done already. You are just deciding which one's going to be done for me. Which one am I going to experience? Okay? All right, Nina says, I just don't understand what I'm doing when there's an issue and I bring it up and he won't address it. It's like I've been this on and off for a while and he will just ghost me and not address it. But when it seems like it's me or my reaction, when he won't ever address how he's making me feel or how he's not doing. Okay. So, Nina, all right. This, first of all, is definitely self-concept. This sounds like maybe you're not feeling, you might believe that you're misunderstood. You might believe that, people don't hear you or you're not heard. However, but decide, somebody below me, Lisa says, you're holding beliefs about him. You're holding a story about him, which is true, right? So abandon the story. No, he always hears me, but this is the thing, y'all. Go beyond that, okay? Because guess what? You can manifest that he always hears you and wants to hear you and still feel the same way you're feeling, because how you feel is the expression, okay? You need to go to yourself and decide that I'm always taken care of. I'm always loved. I'm always heard. My feelings always matter, okay? And I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm just not a fan of letting people play in your face. If he can't respect you, right? If your feelings don't matter to him, then sorry, but my answer is fuck him until he comes correct. Okay? Until he comes correct. Because y'all, I'm sorry, when you're entertaining people, when you're giving people your time, your energy, your body, and they can't even do something simple like respect how you feel or text you back, that is showing where your self-concept is, okay? If you allow people to play in your face, they are going to play. Stop letting him play with you, Nina, for real. But yes, change the story about yourself. Change the story about him. All right. Is feeling fearful while manifesting on a time crunch common? I'm confident that it can happen. Does that stem from my belief system? Yes, it is. It's common. Because there's the pressure, like I said, when you're manifesting, you're looking at the time like, damn, I said 7:30, it's 7:15. But it's okay. Just keep persisting. Keep persisting in the fact that it's done now, y'all. This is why I'm telling y'all. I wouldn't even go to it'll be done by then. Go to it's done now. Live in your end, you guys. This is what this whole video is about, okay? I can't. Ashley, do you ever get tired of repeating yourself? I want to be a coach, but it seems draining. You know, honestly, Ashley, okay, it depends on how you go about it. It depends on your assumptions as well, right? You know, for me, once again, it's not draining in repeating myself because I understand. This information, you guys, is so freaking esoteric and deep that you need to hear it several times for it to land. For me, I understand what it's like to be in y'all's position. That's why I feel relatable, because I understand what it's like when you don't get it. I understand what it's like. Like, to be honest, you guys, life keeps me humble. I don't get to a point where I'm like, oh, you peasants, you don't understand anything. How many times do I have to tell you this? Like, no, because I find myself revisiting the same things that I know already in different circumstances and different situations. So now what I will say is, like, for me, I'm a person I'm an empath, so I pick up on people's energy. And so that part can be draining, you know? That part of absorbing people's energy and their stories and their trauma, that part can be draining. But it's really about, you know, having good spiritual maintenance and making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And really finding a way that works for you to do it, Ashley, if you want to coach. So I would say, you know, think about, I don't know, like, for me, I really love this. I love this so much. I feel better when I'm talking to you guys, right? And repeating myself, it helps me too. When I'm talking to you guys and seeing it from different angles and different people's perspective and in different circumstances, it's helping the lesson to land for me too, okay? My ex-husband proposed 2 days before the day I decided he would. I love that. Yes. I have felt living in the end so vividly once for about 5 minutes. Is that enough time? Well, yes, but it's not enough time if you're going to come out of that and then go back to your old story, okay? It's not enough time. It's not, like, once again, let's talk about Neville getting out the army, right? Neville didn't go to his mind and see himself in the you know, in New York and then come back and be like, but I'm here, and I guess this is just that. And I guess, you know, I don't know. And I'll wait till they actually let me go until I really believe that I'm there. No, he really, he accepted it. This is what I be real, like with Neville. Neville accepts it instantly. Like, I don't care what the fuck anybody's saying. I don't care what y'all saying. I don't care what it looked like. Neville even said, he was like, oh, people might think it's dishonorable. Don't you want to serve your country? He was like, nah. No, I don't. You know, like, I don't care what y'all saying. I want to be at home. And so then I am, period. And if I dwell there mentally, then that's where I have to be physically, period. Ain't no this way or that way about it. So, and it didn't matter. Neville literally got denied, right? The colonel told him no. He was like, yeah, Neville, he was like, I feel bad for you, you know, because I know you got your baby and your wife, but I don't feel bad for me because you're exactly the type of person I want to have fighting with me. And he was like, nah, I have to deny you though. Sorry. And Neville said it took 9 days, right? And guess what Neville said? He didn't say, he didn't say it was 9 days with no movement. You know what he said? He said he was resisting. He says the colonel was resisting what already was. It wasn't no back and forth about it. He said for 9 days, the colonel was resisting because he already knew the moment Neville decided that I'm not being here no more. It's a fact. Y'all just catching up to that. And 9 days after that, the colonel calls him back in and is like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go home. Okay? But Neville never moved from that assumption. Neville didn't say, oh my God, it's day 7. Oh, I'm still here. Neville didn't say, but I'm scared. I don't want to die in war. Neville didn't give no attention to that shit. And let me say this, you guys. Let me say this, okay? Because Neville, Neville wrote one of his friends and told him what he did. And he said his friend didn't write him back. His friend didn't believe him because his friend was, logical. And he said, I left the army. Neville was out of the army in 3 months, okay? 3 or 4 months. His friend came back 4 years later when everybody else was let out of the army. So this is you guys. It's because just like Jesus tells parables in the Bible, Neville's experiences are parables. Your experiences are parables. Are you going to be Neville that gives it to yourself and accepts it immediately? Are you going to be the logical friend that's like, that could never be, and stay in your war for 4 more years? It's up to you. What about if you truly believe and still get nothing? It's been 6 months. I believe I have a new home and money. And since I still live with my brother and money is getting harder to get. Okay, but Derek, you are contradicting yourself. If you really believed, you guys, if you really believed, you wouldn't even type that comment. This is the thing, y'all. If you really believed, right? This is the thing, like I was saying with the engagement. I'm not going on anybody's live and being like, yeah, I've been believing that my man is going to propose, but he hasn't proposed yet. So is it really happening? No, there was no question to me that it was already done. So what am I talking about it for? It didn't matter how many months or what was going on in time wise. It was already a fact to me. So the truth is, Derek, you haven't accepted it as a fact. And this is what I be talking about, okay? With y'all in the law of assumption. This is why I say be dead ass for real with yourself. Stop saying things to say them because that's what you're supposed to say. If you're saying, I believe that it's really mine, but it's not here, then you're not really believing. You're looking to 3D to confirm it to you to really believe. No, jump 2 feet in. Jump 2 feet in. That it's done. It already happened. Money is getting harder to get. That's not true. Money is getting easier to get. It's already done. Period. The moment that I look at the apple as a sculptor and say, oops, I meant to create a cereal box, and I crush it down, I've still accepted that this is about to be a cereal box though. I'm not looking at it and saying, but it's an apple. Oh no, I crushed it. Now it's just mush. And oh, I'm forming it, but it's not quite right. And I don't really think it's a cereal box. No, it is. It is. I've already accepted my end. I've already accepted that's what it's going to be. Hi, Mama Kay. Amy, and I wasn't saying that about you, Amy, about wishing bad on anybody. I was saying that is a law of assumption thing that people act like is okay. But I was saying that for those who are wishing bad on people, because people would be like, yeah, I'm trying to manifest these people, to have a terrible divorce. And is it bad? What do you think? So Alice Carline, my birthday is on the 6th. My birthday is on Sunday. Okay, I'm my own boss and I own a business. So it's not manipulation to manifest clients, right? No. So Amy, whatever it is with your business, right? This is the thing with business, right? Is you're helping people. I'm gonna tell y'all a story really quick, okay? Because one of the first coaching groups that I was in, as far like for my coaching business, like the woman that I worked with DM'd me and she was talking to me. And at that time, I didn't know anything about sales and marketing. And now I know that she was selling to me through the DMs, but I didn't know that. I felt like, oh my God, she really cares about me. Like she cares about what I'm doing and, all of this kind of stuff. And it ends up that, not to say she didn't care about me, but she didn't know me. She was trying to get me into her coaching group and it worked, right? But it's like, was it manipulation? I mean, little bit. Like, sales is a little bit, I don't like to say manipulation, but it is coercing you into making a decision, right? But guess what? That served me. Being in that coaching group changed my life. That was the first time that I was able to quit my serving job, right? And actually coach people and change people's lives. It's possible I would not even be here had I not did that, right? So like, this is the thing is, whatever your business is, Amy, I trust that it's serving people. And it doesn't matter if it's coaching. It could be, you could be a personal stylist, you're making someone feel beautiful in their skin and themselves, right? Whatever it is, I don't care. Like I told you, if you sell rainbow socks with the toes cut out, it's serving somebody, it's making somebody happy. If that's the truth, like, this is the thing about sales, you guys, is actually, instead of thinking about money, right? Because when we're thinking about money, that's what makes us feel like we're manipulating. Think about the transformation or the offer that you have. What is this going to do for somebody, right? What's your business going to do for them? If you're doing a service to somebody, then you're doing a good thing by getting them to come into your business. If you're helping somebody, no matter what way it is, and that's the thing, look at it more as you're putting your offer out there for people who are looking for it, right? You're putting your offer out there for people that are already looking for your offer. And you're just making yourself available to find it. You're just bringing in the perfect people to you, okay? A virtual bachelorette. I would love that. I would love that so much, you guys. Okay. Amy, I'm intending for you. You're not on a time crunch, actually, because it already manifested. It already happened. It happened instantly. It happened so instantly. In fact, none of these things is what you actually said. Like, you came on here and you were like, Olivia, I have so many success stories to tell you. And I was like, Amy, I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. The story about me trying and constantly healing, I'm over it. It feels like counter. I'm proud of the work I'm doing, but I'm done. Then I feel lazy. Yeah, we feel lazy. We feel lazy when we're not acting and efforting, because that's what human people tell us we need to do. And it's not about being lazy. This is the thing, y'all. It's about being a director and a steward of your mind. It's about making sure that you're thinking correctly. That's it. Okay? Say someone has a visual growth that's painful. Then we decide, I'm in Godstate of health with the vitamin placebo, that the growth is gone when pain is felt. Do I just say, proof I'm so healthy? Okay. So what I'm getting from this question is, what do we do when we're in the face of, opposite circumstance, when we're seeing what we're seeing and this is not what we're manifesting? You're persisting that it's already this. Don't even look to 3D to determine anything. You just keep deciding that it's done now. Right? You just keep deciding. It's already done, though. It already happened. It's more about you controlling your mind than it's about controlling the 3D, okay? That's it right there. It's more about you controlling your mind. It's more about you going here and deciding and continuously deciding what it is here than looking at 3D and saying, oh, but this means that it is, or this means that it's not. Let 3D be what it be, okay? Focus on what you're telling yourself. You see what I'm saying? If Neville was like, well, I did the assumption and I said I assumed it in this, but damn, I'm still in the army. I'm still doing push-ups right now. This isn't what I said. It doesn't matter. You keep saying what you say up here. It has no choice but to reflect that. Period. What's the belief if you're experiencing a pain or growth in the body? Could be a lot of things, but go to your end. Go to your end. You can't be ill. You can't be ill. You can only be perfect. You are the perfect one in form. Period. Olivia, there's a job I wanted and surrendered today. Got rejected. Feel indifferent. I'm not sure if that's a redirection or if I should accept no for an answer and keep it as a goal. Okay, great question, Lily. So here's what I'll say. Is it that job specifically? Is it like, this is my dream job? I've always wanted to work at freaking, I don't know, magazine. Like, I've always wanted to work at this magazine, this specific magazine, and that's where I want to work, and that's the only place that I want to work. If it's like, this is specifically what I want, revise it. No, you do work there and they did give you the job. If it's just that you want a certain type of job with a certain type of pay and you think that this is the best option, then just persist in the fact that you have that certain type of job and that certain type of pay and allow it to unfold. So this is what I think about being specific and being general, okay? If it's something specific that you want, be specific. But is it really that thing that you want specifically? Or is it, is it the experience that you think that it's going to give you? If it's the experience that you think it's going to give you, then in my opinion, it's best to surrender it, because let me tell y'all, there are ways that you know not of. Like, the way that God can bless you, the way that God can answer all your wants and needs and desires is sometimes different from what you're seeing. You might see like, yeah, I want to make 6 figures and this job is going to pay me $98,000 a year. And it's, it's about 25 minutes from my house. So that seems like the best option for me. So, and that's the only job that there is. So I need to make sure that I'm focused on this. But it's like, no, you might be thinking that and focus so hard on that, and really they reject you because there's a place for you that's you're making $250,000 and it's 5 minutes from your house and you ain't even got to go into the office half the time. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on if that's really, really what you want, to revise it and don't accept it. But if it's just the fact that you feel indifferent, to me sounds like you are looking more for a general, like an experience rather than this specific thing that you have tied to the experience. But keep accepting that it's done no matter what, okay? How do you use affirmations now after knowing you are awareness? Because a lot of people, I don't know, just say decide, but like sometimes it helps to affirm and be consistent. It just helps, like saturation. Okay, Muhammad, I 100% agree with you. And this is how I use affirmations. If there's something, because like I told you guys, for me, what I'm working on is being more disciplined in my mind, right? It's for me, it's helping my mind to focus on what I want to experience, right? And so if I need affirmations to do that, then I'll do that. But when I'm doing it, I'm being mindful that I'm accepting that this is true now. So I'm being mindful that I'm not coming from the state of, oh, it's not true, and I hope if I say these things, then it'll be true. And I can feel myself when I'm being that way, right? Because it's that, y'all know, that grasping energy that's like, come on, hurry up and manifest. Like, no, I'm affirming these things because I'm deciding this is true. Okay, this is true. This is what it is. And I'm just keeping my mind focused on what I'm deciding now. Okay. Hey, Princess Brat. Okay. I'm doing the SP course, and let me just say it's brought out some emotions, but I needed that. I'm more in my goddess energy. Choose it every day. Week 2 is here. I love that, Glam. That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. Do we have to believe it? No. You don't have to believe it, you guys. This is what I was trying to say in my video about believing versus choosing, right? Like, here's what I would say. What you want to believe, what the best thing for you to believe is that your mind creates reality. Because a lot of times when, especially like before in my manifesting journey, a lot of times I was not believing what I was saying, right? Like I told y'all, when I first had the sat scene of me looking at this ring with my SP and him being happy that we're engaged, I did not believe, I couldn't even barely form the picture in my mind because it felt so far away. But I knew that an assumption, though false, if persistent in, will harden into fact, right? So you don't need to believe it, you need to persist in it. You persisting in it is going to make you believe it, okay? Oh, thank you, Marina. You're so sweet. Thank you, Amy. Okay, you guys, this is a little long. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me see. One family member needs to sign in order for the rest of the family to receive an inheritance, but she's stalling. We tried everything in vain. Any suggestions? She already signed it. That's the thing, y'all. Look, if anything, this is what I'm telling you guys, okay? Any desire that you have, it's done already. You decide, okay? And let me leave you with this. Be delusional, okay? Be delusional. And I'm going to answer this other question too up here because that's a good one. Y'all, this is why I say it's delusional. If I decide right now that I'm manifesting myself to have a pink shirt and my shirt is blue, if I start believing or if I start saying my shirt's pink, to me, that's delusion. I'm looking at a blue shirt and I'm saying it's pink. But delusion becomes fact, okay? If the fool would persist in his folly, he would become wise. You know what that means? It doesn't matter what's false or what's not real. Oh, is she really stalling? Actually, I think she's hurrying up. She's hurrying up. She's like scrambling for a pen. Like, someone give me a pen so I can sign this. You already have your inheritance. It already happened, right? This is what I'm saying. Deny the senses. Stop looking at what is to decide, y'all. This is breaking the spell, okay? This is breaking the spell that 3D has over us. That what I say is what it is. What I say is what it is. No, it's not. What I say is what it is, period. You decide. She signed it already. And I bet you'll come back next time I come live and you'll be like, oh my God, she signed it. Yeah, because she already did. All right? All right. What are your practices when you feel like you're not manifesting with the knowing it's already yours? Great question. So if I'm not feeling like I'm knowing, I think affirmations is a good one to kind of keep my mind focused. And once again, you guys, it doesn't matter, right? A lot of us, you're waiting to know that it's yours, right? Which does come from a certain state of consciousness. Once you start to really know yourself as God, you will know that everything is just a selection. It's just about what you decide, right? But before that, right? If you're still wanting something, this is where the affirmations come in. This is where, sat scenes come in, visualization, whatever, subliminals, whatever it is that you want to do. But something else I do is what if it were true though, right? What if it was true? When you do that, you guys, you have to do it not from the point of trying to make it be true. When you say, what if it were true as a technique and you're like, okay, but what if it were true? And let me create the state and let me create the feeling, then you're already far away from where you're trying to be. But when you just think of it as if I'm telling you like fashion hybrid, let's pretend like we're princesses and I'm a princess of Genovia and you're the princess of Wales and we're having tea. You're not gonna say, oh, but I've never been to Wales and Genovia, you've never been there and that can't be true. No, we're pretending, what if we were though? And automatically when we ask ourselves, when we pose the question, what if I was? Let's pretend the image has already come, the feeling of being a princess, the big ball gown, the little tea and crumpets in my hand, it all comes to me, okay? All right. Yes. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. So I had a dream about you in February and you got proposed to. That is funny. That's when he got the ring. You must be psychic, Kiki. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go because this is long. And I'm going to go live for my members as well. And I want to make a video, but I don't know, y'all, because I'm so exhausted, you guys. I have been traveling. I've been just busy for like the whole month of May and June. And I've been just traveling back to back to back and then this going on. But I'm going to go. I'm intending. Yes, he was holding out on us that long. He told everybody knew except me. He told my mom in February. And yes, he was so excited. She was like, he was so excited. He called me and told me and all of this. And yes, it was amazing. But he wanted to do it a specific way. He wanted our parents to be there. So we had to wait for his mom and sister to get here. But I love you guys. I am, right, I've been with my mom plenty of times. She was so good. Everybody had a great poker face. Even my niece knew the day of, and I didn't know. Everybody knew. My best friends knew. Everybody knew. And I didn't know. But yes, it is a blessing. And to be honest, you guys, everything is so wonderful. The thought that he put into it, the ring that he had this ring custom made for me, you guys. Like, he asked me about, what I wanted and pictures, and literally worked with a design team to create this ring. I have all the information on it. It's a flawless diamond, you guys. Like, when I tell y'all this thing be bling blinging, I'm like, this is attracting attention. Like, when I go out, the way that it's shining, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is gonna be attracting attention. But he did a wonderful job. But what I truly wish for you guys, y'all, is it's not even about, like, I'm extremely happy about the ring, and I'm extremely happy about the proposal and a wedding and everything. But the biggest blessing is being with someone like him, and the love that we share, you guys. Having someone that loves you so deeply and completely, and someone that I love so deeply and completely, having the relationship that we have, the connection that we have. Our parents were like, you guys are so in sync. Like, you guys are like one person. Like, it just, the love that we have is the biggest blessing, you guys. It's the biggest. Everything else, this is a very sparkly, cherry on top. But that's what I pray for you guys. Like, please don't chase just being married to be married, or just a boyfriend to be a boyfriend. Really have somebody who's going to put in thought and effort and love and really care for you as the goddess that you are, you guys. And this is why I be yelling at you guys, because you don't have to settle. I settled so much in my life, you guys. I settled so much in my life, and I did not have to. I did not have to. You don't have to. All right? You don't have to. You deserve beautiful love that blows you away every single day. It's possible. It exists. Fuck what everybody else is talking about. Fuck the belief that love is dead. It's not, you guys. Fuck, don't be looking at people and like, but it didn't work out for them. Like, I've seen people, talking about creators that, their relationship, it didn't work out for them, so it couldn't work out for me. That's dumb as fuck. Like, y'all got to realize that these people on these screens are just people. We are all just humans. We're all just here trying to do our best. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean anything for you. Like, me and my SP used to talk to people all the time about marriage and this, and a couple of his friends is getting divorces and this, but he's just like, it's just telling me what not to do. I'm not going to let that persuade me from doing what I want to do, So don't use anything to count yourself out, okay? Count yourself in. That's what I be telling y'all. Count yourself in. You're a goddess. You can have it, all right? And it doesn't matter what it's looking like, y'all. This, this was like so far from my mind like a couple years ago. And now it's real and done. So I'm intending that this prospers you guys immensely. I'm going to go live for my members. I'm sending you all infinite love. If you guys would like to join the Godstate Remembrance, you get your first 7 days free. And I'm still having my birthday sale on my one-on-one sessions. You get $111 off, and you can book that in the description as well. I'm sending you all infinite love, and I will see you guys.